Guys, how are we doing? How are we doing? Yeah? This will be a slightly subdued edition of Belfast boxing and blues. Because indeed I have the blues. Yeah? And with the way things are, I don't really know if I'm capable of delivering on a Saturday night. And I already done this morning. I already done one this morning. But you know what it is? I went to a couple of gigs and I seen some good music today. So it's not going to be so much boxing. There'll be a little bit of boxing talk, but this is going to be really a review of 2 gigs I was at today and one last night. I think this is what has been missing. I left this guitar in to be fixed earlier this week, and I picked it up just the other day. I haven't been playing it. So, I mean, I don't want to get into a whole load of technical guitar nonsense, but basically it's all been sorted out, and it's playing real beautifully. I haven't really got a chance to sit with it and get used to it. The action's a little different, so I mean, basically, if you're not a guitar player, if you think of something you'd like to pick up, your action is the gap between the fretboard, the neck there, and the string. So high action, if you've got heavy strings, it can kill your fingers. It's not really good for beginners. If the action's too low, it can be a wee bit too slippy. Especially if you're a blues player and you like to dig into it. Some nice tones going today. Let's see what this one's like. Yes, so guys, like, I'll set the guitar down for a minute. I'll try and talk these blues out. So yeah, last night I made some reference to this earlier in an earlier video, but I might get lost because it's like a 45-minute long video and the music stuff's right in the middle. And I don't think that the people that are interested in the music stuff want to hear me waffle on about boxing for 30 minutes. They don't want that, you know. So sometimes you have to listen to your audience. Probably you have to listen to your audience quite a bit, you know. I just get stuck in, you know. I mean, with the sheer size of the audience that I have as well, really comes into play there. So you can't please everybody, sure you can. But you know, what's going on here? We're gonna work this out, aren't we? I think we can work this out. You know, I watched a good documentary on Cuban boxing because I had remembered to myself. I like I like the Engel Gym. I like Brendan Engel. I like watching documentaries about him. I think he's a cool guy because he's in the community, man, talking to these kids, hypnotizing them like Costomato. You know, he's fucking just talking to them and being like, look, put down that cigarette. You're only 8. Get off that fucking skateboard. Put these gloves on, right? And get in there. And that, for me, was like, I see a lot of value in that. I think that's a great thing what that guy did, you know. And obviously there's a lot of people in boxing, and probably a lot of unsung heroes that do that sort of work. I think it's great, man, you know. In fact, me and a friend, we were farting about in the bikes the other day, and we were riding around Belfast city centre and stuff, and we got a speaker, this lovely Wonderboom speaker. We had that strapped to my bike, and we were taking turns putting on the tunes, you know, and just lovely, great day. It wasn't all too. I think was that Wednesday or was that Thursday? It was Thursday, I think. Beautiful, man. See, it was like being in a movie or something nearly, you know. One of those nice days. And we get down past the Cathedral Quarter in Belfast, and we go into the skate park, which was my first time ever being there. It was kind of cool as well, as shiny as it was, and it was during school hours, so there weren't too many about it. There was a group of sort of teenagers, and, and there was these two wee tiny fellas, and they were farting about on the scooters and stuff, and they come over and talked to us, and they were all like, "Where's your skateboards?" And they goes, "Can you do any tricks?" Me and him on mountain bikes, like, and so we were talking this and talking that, and I was saying, "Oh, I like boxing, and I started shadow boxing, and the wee lad, there was like two wee old boys, the wee lad was like, "Oh, I box," and the two of them was talking, and they were both on the scooters. They were into these scooters, spinning around on these scooters and doing tricks and stuff. And so I said, "Well, who's the best?" And the bigger of the two, they were cousins, the wee one goes, "I'm better than him on the scooters," and the other one goes, "Aye, he's better than me on the scooters, but I'd knock his comp in." I was like, "What? Where did you learn to talk like that?" So, yeah, and they were talking about different boxing clubs and stuff. I was like coming to these, young lads for advice. I was asking them, where do you know of any good gyms? And they were naming a couple of gyms in North Belfast. And the name of Holy Family, I thought Holy Family was in West Belfast, but it turns out it's North. Um, don't know what the setup is in there. I've been looking about going down to this kickboxing gym. There's something starting soon. I could do a 5-week course. I might go and do that and get the general fitness up and stuff, and then hit the boxing gym and straight up boxing, because like I don't mind learning a bit of kickboxing and stuff like that, but that's not what I want to do. I want to do boxing, straight up boxing. So we actually, so I went into like Brendan Ingle mode and started like giving these guys like inspirational advice and stuff, and we did an interview with him because Sam has a camera and stuff. So my mate Sam, me and him do a lot of stuff together, music and stuff. He's quite a cool guy, he's knows where all the hip gigs are and stuff like that. He's an arty sort of fella. Oh, you wouldn't think that looking at him, but he is. So so he got on the camera and I started interviewing these two lads, and where did they see themselves in 5 years? I've actually got the clip. I might stick it up, like, well, I was kind of afraid to stick it up in case somebody was like, "Well, why are you talking to these two young fellas?" You know what I mean? But it was funny, man. It was really funny. They were talking about being on the X Games and all. I want to go to the X Games and stuff. And I was sort of saying to them, you want to learn how to do this now, get as much experience doing this type of thing now, so that whenever you do get to be 16 and 17 and 18, somebody sticks a camera in your face and you have to do an interview for your boxing or your scooter stuff or whatever it is you're doing, you don't come across stupid. You know what I mean? So it was funny, man. So like that was okay. That was Thursday. Yesterday was Friday, wasn't it? In fact, that was yesterday. That was Friday, right? And then last night, we went down to the Barge. Well, Sam didn't. It was sold out. I got my ticket weeks and weeks before. Belfast Barge. I'm sure you know it, down beside the waterfront. Basically, is the big steel boat, just moored, tied up, in the on the lagoon, like, and they have gigs and stuff in a restaurant. There's like a wee art gallery and stuff. So a few friends of ours were playing. Chris Chalmers of the 219, lead singer of the 219, was singing some songs, doing his own stuff, playing some lovely guitar. Some of the original material was very poignant. The last couple of tracks in particular was real beautiful stuff. And his voice is great. Chris's voice is like top level, creme de la creme of the Belfast blues singers. And then Carl Devlin, and Carl's mad, man. You think he'd come walking out of the fucking 1920s or the 1800s or something. You know what I mean? He looks like he's in the mafia or something. He wears the long coat and like a scarf, and he's got his hair slicked up and stuff. He even kind of talks like he's in the mafia, but Carl's a serious guy, but he's a lovely fella. He's a great fella, and he got up to do his stuff. And like I say, he sort of introduced himself at the start. He's like, I'm actually a bit of a historian as well as a musician, a bit like me. And he was, he was doing a bit of talking before each song, explaining where this one come from and where that one come from, and it was great. And Carl is actually astounding. It's like I haven't seen him maybe for 6 months or so live, and it's like he's actually like he just keeps getting better, you know. One of the great things about Carl is he sings like these old field holler type things, you know, Charlie Patton and all these guys, and he does it with real authenticity. But not only that, he's managed to cross splice his accent, his Irish accent into that, and it's seamless and it's nice. He's made it work, you know, because a lot of us singers, it's kind of a bit of a conflict that we have because we grew up listening to American people who sing in American accents. It's all American music or it's English music, and they're trying to sound like the original blues singers. So there's Americanisms in there. Sometimes they sing in a plain British voice. There's not many people that sing in a Belfast accent. So we have this dilemma, and we must work out how do we do this. You know, do I just start singing like this? You kind of do. That's where you start. And then next thing you know, you've got it going and everybody's rocking. It's a real good time. Yeah, so you learn the tricks and you learn how to do it. You know, different people have different little techniques. Me, I would like speak little bits and stuff like that. You know, everybody has their own sort of take on it, and some have been very successful with it. So I mean, it's good to see, and it's something that's, you know, appreciated here. You know, people really appreciate it, especially if you do develop it to that extent where it starts to sound good. You know, and so I mean, I suppose if there's any boxers watching this, it's kind of a similar thing of developing your skills. You have a transitional period where you're trying to pick up a certain new way of moving or something. And what I meant to say earlier, I had been talking about Brendan Engel. I watched it. Yes, the reason I mentioned him, right, Brendan, was I seen one of these things. He's talking on a film, and he was talking about his roots and all. Him coming from Dublin, and he's like, "Yeah, I didn't know how to read or write, and so I learned that. And then I fucking got married to this woman. She was all right, and then I fucking got into the Socialist Party. I started reading. It was like reading Tolstoy and stuff, you know." You wouldn't think to hear him talk, but he read all this stuff, you know what I mean? And he just had that like down to earth common sense that he could just make it sound like that, you know what I mean? So he came out with something that I thought was very interesting, and could give you a bit of an insight how ambitious he was with the training regimen in his gym, right, the Engel gym. He was talking about how the Russians were doing it and how the Cubans were doing it and their setups. Now, I'm sure this is a common thing in lots of gyms, lots of trainers and lots of fighters and stuff, that they're aware of these things and stuff. But, you know, me not really knowing that at the time when I heard it, I thought, whoa, this guy's looking into their training methods and stuff. It seems like he's going above and beyond a wee bit. I was like, I thought that really kind of was like evidence of the fact of maybe the fact that he was concerned with things like that. I thought might be like a key as to how Brendan Engel got done what he done. You know what I mean? Because I certainly know, like, in a musical sense, you know, there's some people that just wouldn't bother their whole, you know. They just pick up and play it and do what you do, you know. And then you have guys that look into the history of it, that look at different countries. They're not even looking at their boxing setup. They have to take their social stuff and into how their society is and how their culture is and all of that and how that then affects the boxing stuff. And so anyway, I said to myself, right, I have to go and start researching Cuban boxing and Russian boxing. So I watched a couple of documentaries on the Cuban boxing. Now there was one small one in particular that was just done by some random guy. I subscribed to him on YouTube. I wish I could remember his name so I could shout him out here. Not that anybody will hear it, but this guy, it caught my eye being a musician because the title of the video was something, 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 Cuban boxers, polyrhythms. So in music, a polyrhythm is when you have one rhythm, right? And then you have another rhythm outside of it. It's a very hard thing to do. And you can see it when they move. There's some extra slithery little snake-like thing going on. It's like, wow, it's fascinating to watch. It's a thing of beauty. It's in the African music. They have it in the African beats. They have it in the Latin music. You know, but anybody can tap into it. Now, I say tap into it because that's what I do as a musician. Sometimes I hit upon polyrhythmical things that will affect the rest of the band. And that's really when I try to get into more of a meditative state or get lost in a solo, which happens to us as we play music. You get into that flow state, and that's when you start to do these polyrhythmic things. If you sat down and tried to do it and go, okay, I'm going to do polyrhythms now, it wouldn't quite work. You know, you just go, you get stuck. You know, you need to just chill out, get into your flow. Next thing you know, you're fucking doing the caramba. It's lethal. It's really good. So, you know, gotta check out the Cubans a bit more. I mean, obviously it's strange with their whole system where the fighters aren't allowed to fight professionally. You know, I still have to learn about Castro and all of that. Really, I don't really know any of that stuff, but I'm interested in it. You know, I think this is one of the cool things about boxing as a discipline. Is it gets you interested in that stuff? Because I wouldn't care otherwise. You know what I mean? And I'm starting to care, and it's like, fucking hell, boxing's more about beating people up. So the Russians, then I'll check out the Russians. I'll maybe check out the Russians tonight and see what the history is with their system. I know there was some drug scandals with their amateur fighters or their Olympic athletes altogether, whatever that was. But because like I'd get into an argument with some guy, you know, some Twitter argument. This is some quite respectable guy, and I was just some nobody coming in and trying to have it with him, you know. And I was trying to say that the great Ukrainian fighters are anomalies. Your Lomachenkos and your Usyks and stuff. I said there was no lineage there. I was saying what makes black fighters and Mexican fighters so great is there's a deep lineage and all of this. And whilst there might be some truth to that, of course there must be a lineage to Eastern European fighters, and particularly Russia and Ukraine, which is a closer thing. I'm sure there are other countries that would be more involved in that. Maybe they all come under that banner and that influence, you know, dating back to the fucking Great Wall of Berlin and all that there, you know. So there's a lot to think about. Almost too much. Anyway, look at segue there. Carl, come on, man. Carl was fucking talking this beautiful stuff. He's such a character. He looks the part, man. And then he took into the guitar, and it was like, not only can he play that stuff with them fucking mad rhythms, and he's slapping the fucking guitar, and he's popping it, and you see all the old boys in particular, they were like sitting in their chairs doing the fucking hoogie boogie, you know. they were like, this young boy knows something. And his singing was great. Like I say, he tied in the Irish thing with the fucking Belfast fucking blues thing. And the highlight of Carl's set for me was when he played an Irish version of Goodnight Irene, which has recently emerged. It was recorded years ago by some of these Lomax fellas. You can go look at that yourself. You might hear that name sometime. So the Lomax dudes, Alan and fucking whatever his dad or his son was called. There's another one, isn't there? So look, these guys, they basically were going around the Gael talks of Ireland and they were trying to preserve the Irish music. Let's get some recordings of these songs, these digs, whatever you have. They got this stuff. For some reason they were documenting this, right? So they got it. And that was all good. And this particular recording of Lead Belly's Goodnight Irene come out. You know, I'm gonna fucking get the lyrics up here. I'm not gonna sing it right now, but I am gonna sing it in a few minutes. Like, not in Irish, but I'll just do my own wee version of it, like in English, with an Irish accent, which may veer into American and even English at times. So, like, Goodnight Irene lyrics, MFR, beautiful. Look at that there. The Weavers. No, mate, that's not what I wanted. I want fucking Lead Belly. There's about 100 verses in the Lead Belly one. This one's only got 3 wee verses. I'm not gonna sing it for 10 minutes, I swear to God. Like. Right. Oh my God, there's so many verses. It's all good though, isn't it? So yeah, Carl finished up. Carl and Chris were both brilliant, and they did the solo thing, and then they had, let me get this guy's name, because I kept calling him Kevin Samuels. I think that's some fucking American comedian or something. That is not his name at all. Like, I have to get his name up here, but he had a band and they were very good. I talked about them before. There's a wee video of Carl's come up. Where are we here now? Where are we doing? Here we are. Yes. There we are. Ricky Jordan band. Yeah, so Ricky Jordan come on. He was doing his own songs. Quite nice subject matter. You know, it was relatable stuff about mental health, stuff about positive stuff. It was real positive. Even the negative stuff that he talked about, there was a positive slant on it. It was feel good. He was a lovely guy. He spoke well between tunes. The whole band was well turned out. Fellow guitar, fellow drums, like they're two brothers, no relation. And they were playing away. Guitar player was lovely. Drummer, very good. The bass player was their manager. I don't know if he just stepped in or what. He's wearing like a fucking rugby shirt, and he got up. You know, no hair. You know, is what it is. Like, but he was no nonsense. Like, he just stood there. And you were sort of looking at him going, is he really making that sound? He was so fucking good. And there's some very interesting chords in their songs, not like going into crazy jazz chords and stuff like that. But they were just using the changes in a different way rather than in simplistic sort of things. They were a little more advanced, using the simple chords, you know, your basic diatonic chords, maybe sevenths and stuff like that, maybe flat sevenths and major sevenths. But the way that they were blocking them in was really nice. They were doing some cool stuff that way. You know, Ricky was a great singer, a great guitar player himself, big fan of Gary Moore. They played 2 Gary Moore songs, and they played a Rory Gallagher song. Everybody was rocking. It was Rock the Boat. The ladies were up, the fellas were up. Yeah, the non-binaries were right the way up there, hanging from the fucking rafters. So everybody was having a ball, you know. That was last night. Now I'm gonna have to drink some of this coffee and smoke a bit of this cigarette before I fucking open my mouth again. So, what was going on there? By the way, I bought a Red Bull in the shop earlier, and I was going to myself, I really want it. I don't know, why am I buying this? It's too late to be drinking Red Bull. I was like, oh, I'll drink it tomorrow. I'll have it like tomorrow afternoon. That'll be nice, won't it? But it just occurred to me why I'm drinking coffee and why I bought that Red Bull. Because I'm staying up, come hell or high water. I am going to watch that Patrick McCrory fight. I am going to watch it. Because you know what? I've done a whole video on it. I've been watching every single bit of media on it. I even fucking followed him on Twitter. I have been putting the work in, getting behind this. So now I have to fucking turn up, don't I? I have to fucking be there. Well, not be there, like, but I'll be watching it on my computer. So, guys, what happened next was then I went to bed. I woke up. I did a little video. You may or may not get watching it. And I had a few wee things to do about town and stuff like that. Got a nice wee bite to eat in Brights there in town. It was lovely. Bit of scampi, garlic fries, headphones on. I had taken some photographs the night before when I was out for a cycle. Got a wee editing program. I edited my photographs, so I'm learning how to do that too. I mean, because it's just not enough being a guitar player, harmonica player, lyricist, songwriter, poet, short story writer, podcaster, singer, comedian, philanthropist, therapist, psychologist, you know what I mean? Like, I thought I just needed another string to my bow, so I started doing photography. No, it's just, you know what it was? I was out and I had my phone, and my friend Sam, I always talk about Sam, don't I? I'm gonna have to get him on here sometimes, but he doesn't talk. But that might be good. I could be a good dynamic, like Deadwood type thing. He'd be the dry one. Yeah, Sam's a good lad. So anyway, like he's really good at photography, Sam. He's just got that good eye, and he's got the technical stuff as well. He picks out real arty shots and stuff. So I've sort of been watching him a wee bit, and then I must have picked a bit up. He's probably getting really annoyed because I started doing photography. He's like, this fucking dick. Stick to your music, man. Anyway, look, took a few shots. And what I found interesting was the skills you get from boxing, Tai Chi, which is something I do, by the way, which if you think to yourself, where are you getting all this here from? Where are you getting all this fucking crazy shit? I do a lot of dancing, do a lot of Tai Chi, and I just do a bit of my own boxing stuff in the house. Been watching boxing for years. I break fights down. I watch it very closely. I like to think I have a good eye for it, and the longer you watch boxing, you get a deeper and deeper understanding. As I say, I used to scrap a wee bit when I was younger. Didn't always win, but I was pretty game. And like I said, I'm looking forward to getting in the gym because I think I'm alright at it. Maybe not the greatest athlete in the world, but I like the sport. So I'm looking forward to getting in and having a wee go. I might get fucking laughed out of the place, but so it's a similar thing. I find that it's like your transferable skills, isn't it? This is why you can go and do all these different things if you do things the right way, and you get transferable skills. So if I see a good shot, right, I look at it and I go, right, okay, there, and then I just arch back there because I've got that core strength, I've got that stability, I've got the legs, I can come down there, do that, oh, you know what I mean? Oh, we all have this, yeah. So it's good to implement it. If you're out on the bike or having a walk and you see something, you go, looks quite nice. Stick the phone up, try it this way. That's quite nice. I'll go this way. I'll go with my first thought. Sometimes that's best. And it's like, no, let me try this. Let me fucking angle it this way, that way, that way. Now, my photos could be rubbish. They could be complete tripe, for all I know. But I enjoy doing it. And that's the main thing, man. It's just fucking, who cares how good it is, let's just do it, man, because it makes you feel good and it's therapeutic, so, that was okay. Went and did whatever stuff I had to do today, got my wee feed, and I was going down to see a young band from Cookstown who I spoke about before a few weeks ago called Cemetery Sunday. They had released a new single. I can't remember the name of it just now. Let me look it up here. It's really good, actually. And they were playing in HMV upstairs. So went down to that. A few Cookstown heads was good to see. John McVitie with his lovely wife. There's Thomas and a big fucking monster. Oh, Jesus Christ. A few other ones, and I got myself a nice t-shirt. They're doing t-shirts now. Tenner, extra large, brilliant, do me great. And let's see if there's something about the single here. See, Machine Homegrown. See, they're doing quite good, and they are a really good band. Now, I've been watching these guys for a couple of years now. I've watched them come through the different changes in personnels and stuff, and they have a guy in singing for them now who's really, really, really good. He's the real deal as far as rock singers go. He's got the movement, he's got the presence, he's got, more importantly, the pipes, but he's the full package. He can talk to the crowd, he's an engaging guy. So that's very good to see. Keelan there on guitar, he would serve more as a band leader type guy as well. Fantastic guitar player. You have Ryan on the other guitar. I'm trying to remember Ryan's second name, they all call him by a second, Comey. Ryan Comey on the second guitar. And Keelan Murr on the other guitar. Two great guitarists, different styles, and they blend so well. And both of the guys have really grown from being guys that copied metal riffs and stuff like that. They have matured so much in such a short amount of time because they've been very professional in their approach, these guys. Like I said, when I spoke about them before, they go about things the right way, and it's really paid off for them. Big Thomas and bass. Thomas was a boxer. I think he might still train the odd time. Big fella, I think he's 6'2", Thomas. Great bass player. See that he holds the pick between that finger, middle finger and the thumb. Now, I can see why he does that. See if your forefinger's a bit skinnier, isn't it? Bass strings, and you're playing on a rock band and you're trying to drive it. You got to be thunking that strings at the right time and stepping up in intensity. You can really hurt that finger. As you maybe get a bit more strength there, and these ones in behind it. I think Jimi Hendrix played similar to that. He was very dangly. He was quite loose, wasn't he, Jimmy? So, so Thomas was great, and then young Connell, which is Keelan's brother, on the drums. fantastic. Colin's a great wee drummer. He's coming on great, works well around the snare, good variation. Reminded me of Keith Moon a couple of times today. A couple of these funny wee rolls he threw in. He's like, well, he's a young guy. He's really good for his age. He's really good anyway. He's at a good standard anyway. You know, he's a very good drummer. But we're gonna see him grow and grow and grow. So it was really great to see the guys having come along so much. You know. Of course, me being an old man at the age of 37 nearly, it nearly brings a tear to your eye, you know what I mean? Because you're watching these young guys and they're out and they're chasing their dream, and you think back to, you know, how much it meant to me whenever I was that age, you know what I mean, when I was doing that stuff, and it made me feel extra good too that I was there to support them in whatever way that I could, you know. Even just dancing, getting the crack going. Yeah, Johnny Ryan was there as well, fantastic guy. He was doing the sound, getting the crack going. You know what I mean? Johnny's got the head screwed on when it comes to it. He does the thing right as well. You know? he does. So so that was all good. Headed back up the road. Said I was going to go up to Longfellow and check out Kenny McDowell. Kenny McDowell. His son was on rhythm guitar, and you had Gordy McAllister on lead guitar. Gordy's a fantastic player. All of them are great. It was very chilled out. For some reason, I had imagined that it was going to be like a real rock and blues thing, but it wasn't. It was quite laid back, and the song choices were interesting. Some just nice, chilled sort of thing. Kenny McDowell's a great singer. He sang we replaced Van Morrison and Them, I think, for a short period, and then went on to sing in a few other notable bands on the Belfast scene. You know, going back to the Pound Club and places like this. You know, he was very much a big guy on that scene. You know, and it was a nice wee vibe. It's a good vibe there. It's the Woodstock Sessions, I think they call it. You know, so there's something of an organisation there, of course. You know, Sussing out they have bands and stuff that come and play. So, you know, they have a schedule. I happen to have right here. They've got a hooker. In on there. Well, he's been and gone. He was there earlier in the month. Kenny McDowell, Blues Taxi, the Brown Notes, Ronnie Greer, Ken Haddock and Anthony Toner. They're in now in a few weeks' time, well, a couple of months' time actually. The Renegade Blues Band, Spoonful of Blues. So there you go. And the Kenny McDowell Project, they play there every month. Yeah. So I think is it the last Saturday of every month? Yes, the last Saturday of every month. Very good. Like I say, Gordy on guitars, sublime, you know. He's got a jazz, there's a jazz element to what he does, and not in the sense of a fumbling jazz element that would be in my playing, more of a, oh right, he just hit that note. He encircled that note there. That he did that on purpose, didn't he? He's very good. There was like a country swing element to a lot of the tunes that they were doing. It was that type of thing. There was some more light, easy listening jazz type of stuff as well, and there were like some nice blues as well. Kenny McDowell was a very good harmonicist, as was a fella that come up and played. Now, Kenny McDowell was doing some interesting moves. Sounded to me to be a pucker player, right? And you see, I think this is the problem with people like me and the modern harmonica blues things where guys get too technical. Now, both of these guys that played were technical and they had moves. Like Kenny McDowell was a bit more like calculated in what he was doing, but he was doing things that aren't in the book, let's put it that way, and they were really, really good. And I think what I'm trying to get at is there's a lot to be said for the guy that picks up a harmonica, just sticks it in his mouth and just goes for it, you know, without getting into all this, I must play this whole man. And don't get me wrong, these guys knew what they were doing, but I think there are so many different tones, so many different feels and moves and things that you can do. You know, basically, I think it's good to have an open mind when it comes to that. I'm really saying this for my benefit because, like I say, I get a bit rigid sometimes in my thinking around that. And the other thing that struck me was how much, like, owing to their approach, how much different they each sounded from each other, and how much different each of them sounded from me. And it's the humble harmonica. It's not just a wee toy that you pick up and, you know what I mean. Oh, we all do this and we all do that. Like, we all sound the same. No, everybody has a different identity. Just like any other, like, saxophone or a trumpet or something like that. You always have your own touch and stuff on it, which will immediately give you your own identity. And then, of course, if you want to develop your own style and stuff like that, it kind of happens by itself anyway. But if you're like really neurotic like me, you'll chase it down. And yeah, you can sort of. That can be a bit self-defeating sometimes. That type of approach, really. So anyway, I mean, that was a nice wee afternoon. I just caught the second half of those guys. And when I come in, and the guy at the door, the guy at the door, only charged me half price in because he says I missed the first half. So that was very nice of him. Thank you, Mr. Gig Organizer. And there was a fellow at the bar. I went up to the bar to get a cola and some ice. And there was an old boy standing, and me and him started talking. He pointed at my badges and he goes, "I used to have a badge of Lennon." I goes, "Oh, John Lennon?" And he goes, "No." Like, no, 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 no. I was like, "Oh, that Russian guy?" And he was like, "Mm-hmm." Because I think, who's on this fucking badge? Like Karl Marx. Malcolm X. I've got Malcolm X. I don't know much about Malcolm X. Yeah, I'm not a crazy, black supremacist or something like that. I mean, for one thing, I'm white. I'm an Irishman. I'm a wee spud man. But you know what? We had an interesting chat. He was telling me about his generation. The fellow was 74, which I says that would mean you. Let me do the math here. That mean you were born in 1950. He goes, "Oh." He's like, "You can count?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm young." So, but yeah, we had a wee chat back and forth, and he was saying about in his generation, his day, like, he says, "Forget all this drug stuff now." He says, "We discovered drugs." I was like, "Okay." And he was telling me all these different stories of having a smoke and taking acid and even, getting on the party scene and all that. He was in his 40s, but he was out there, like. And he was saying he has great grandchildren. He said his grandchildren come to him for advice about drugs. I was actually saying him, that's like something that would go on in my family. Yeah, that's probably what'll happen with my kids. They'll go to my ma for fucking for advice on these matters. I should probably be able to give them some good advice. But so that was that, guys. Lovely few wee gigs. And look, we're at 38 minutes, so I'm gonna blast out a couple of wee tunes here, and then we're gonna fire on. So look, first off, I'm gonna make a wee attempt, right, at "Eye of a Tiger." It may be right, it may be wrong, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna make it happen. All right. You gotta make it. Alright, let's go. You know that one? Daddy's flown across the ocean, leaving just a memory. A snapshot in a family album. what you leave behind for me. Daddy, what you leave behind for me. Playing the wall start to finish. The dodgy version. Well, the guitar feels good. I really haven't played up and down it yet, so my fingers haven't got used to it. Plus, like I say, I usually play lead on my acoustic, so it's smaller scale, which means the neck's smaller, yeah. So it's like the frets aren't as big, so you have to get your fingers used to all these new things. The action, the tension of the strings and everything's different, you know, so I'm just making excuses here. You know how it is, man. You know how it is, so. Right, so we'll try this here. Rising up, back on the street, did my time, took my chances, went the distance, now I'm back on my feet, just a man and his will to survive. So many times it happens too fast. You trade your passion for glory. Here we go, I got a bit of fucking volume going now. Don't lose your grip on the dreams of the past. You must fight just to keep them alive. It's the... We might lose it here. We might lose it. Eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. Rising up to the challenge of our rival. And the last thoughts of virus starts to play in the night. And he's of the tiger. It's so shit, man. I'm sorry. That's a disgrace, actually, isn't it? Did they expect anybody to listen to that? It's a fucking disgrace. But you know why? Because I really just don't have the time to sit down and like work on that and practice it and make it all perfect. I'm sure I can make time, but I don't care about it that much, man. That's why I played blues, so you can just. Make it up as you go along. Lordy Lord, oh Lordy Lord, you know I feel so bad. Yes, I feel so bad. Oh Lordy Lord, oh Lordy Lord, you made me feel so bad, so bad, so bad, so bad. Now that you're living down and out. Then you sit down and you cry. Then you cry some more. You cry so hard you even give the blues to your neighbor next door. Hey, la la. Great Sharks. Hey now, hey now. No baby that I feel so bad. Oh, that you're leaving down and out. Ah, baby, I got the blues so bad. You know that I got my feet won't start walking now. Baby, I got the blues so bad. You know that my mouth won't start to talking now. Hey now, hey now. Hey now, hey now, hey now, now. I gotta tell you, baby, that I feel so bad. Hey, that you're leaving down in a... Our fucking retribution, man. I've made it back, didn't I? After all that faffing about it, finally got to play a good bit of stuff. And, you know, isn't it funny how some days your voice is just like, and other days you open up and you sound like fucking Muddy Waters' dad? Alright, we're gonna do fucking Lead Belly here. Well, these guys all great names, don't they? Muddy Waters, Lead Belly, Howlin' Wolf. Like, we need to start fucking naming ourselves shit like this. You know what I mean? I can be fucking Stick Arms. That's really bad, isn't it? That's so bad, mate. That's the worst joke ever. Right. Let's see what we get out of this. I'm gonna get a good night of boxing anyway. And there's another gig happening tomorrow night, by the way. Myself and Baba the Ball, Sammy Boy are heading down to Madden's for like a night of rap, a lot of rap artists and stuff. Rare Witch is playing there. Fucking Steve Locke, a few other guys like that. And it's gonna be top quality stuff. Like, it's gonna be lovely. And it's a benefit for like a Gaza, Palestine thing as well. Also for a good cause, you know. The tickets are all gone, but you could probably come down and stand around outside and stuff. But there's loads of good acts on it. It's not even that big a venue, I don't think so. It'll for the people that are going, it'll be a real good experience, a real good buzz. I'm sure there'll be a lot of, you know, obviously all the guys are the sort of the cream and the crop of the Belfast hip hop scene and the underground scene as well. So probably most of the people that are there will be quite well versed in all that stuff. And me and Sam, you know, we do a few rap songs occasionally, so we'll be like coming in, trying to hang with the homies, like. But we'll see how we get on. We'll see how we get on now. I think we'll be alright. So this is Lead Belly's tune. Excuse me while I tune my guitar. You know, when I was living back in Memphis, Lucille used not to play, so I began slapping on a cigar box that my father gave me. Anyway, let me tell you about it. That's my signal to shut up. Alright, what key do we like here, guys? Does anybody want to suggest a key? What am I doing, man? What am I doing? Right, where are we here? Let's try this key here. Sometimes I live in the country. Oh yeah. Sometimes I live in the town. Oh, sometimes I have a great notion to jump in the river and drown. Alright. Good night. Good night. gambling and quit your gambling. Oh, quit staying out late at night. Stay home with your wife and your family. Sit by the fireside bright. I see you in my dream. I asked your mother for you. She told me you was too young. I wish to Lord I never seen your face. I'm sorry you was born. All right. Good night. Don't you do it on me. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dream. Alright. You know I love Irene. Yes, you do, boy. God knows that I do. I love her, love her, love her, love her, love her till the sea runs dry. Oh my. And if Irene turns her back on me, I'll take morphine and die. Irene, good night. Oh, Irene, good night. Good night. When you caused me to weep, you caused me to mourn. You called me to leave my home. But the very last word I heard her say was, please sing me one more song. I'll get you in my dream. There are folks lead belly, dacky core. What? Yeah, all the good stuff. And you may or may not have picked up who that was sort of sung after. Begins with J and ends with Lee Lewis. So there you go. I mean, I could sit for another fucking 45 minutes playing this guitar and talking absolute nonsense. which is no good really. So, rather than that, I'm gonna, holy Jesus, I'm gonna go post this. I'm gonna get myself a couple of wee baked potatoes, right? Tuna, fucking spring onion, red onion. What else is there? Cherry tomatoes, load of mayonnaise, grate a bit of fucking cheese. You baked potatoes done in the microwave first, and then in the oven to get them crispy. Butter, fucking lethal. So I'm gonna do that there, and then stick something on, man. Fucking watch all the boxing stuff until the boxing actually comes on. Watch the whole card and roar at the screen and wake the whole street up, whenever Bobby McCrory's hammering Berlanga and knocking him out. Haven't actually made a prediction on the fight. I didn't realise you had to do that as well as doing all the previews and stuff. It's like, oh, you have to make a prediction as well. Fucking hell, don't know if I'm qualified to actually make a prediction. So, you know what, I predict what's it gonna be now? I think McCrory's gonna knock him out. There's gonna be a few knockdowns. There's gonna be knockdowns both sides, alright? Coming into the mid rounds, 5th round, 6th round, 7th round. The 8th round, Berlanga's gonna look to be in trouble. Once he's been floored, once he's really gonna lose his shit. He's not gonna know where he is. He's not gonna know what he's doing, and his confidence, his balls will just fall out. You know what I mean? He'll drop that low that they're not even in the sack no more, and McCrory is gonna get on top of him. He's the older man. It's man against boy here. Well, I mean, let's be realistic. It's man against man, but he can really go in there and make that experience in terms of age show, experience in terms of rounds fought. If he really goes in there and puts it on him. McCrory seems like a real smart fella, looking at his interviews and stuff. He's a clever guy, like he's managing fighters and stuff as well. Like, doesn't manage himself, he's managed by the common promotions. So look, I think he can do it. I believe he's going to do it. I think this is going to be a big night for Irish boxing tonight. Let's see. We'll have to wait and see, don't we? Anyway, guys, anybody out there watches this? Maybe Big John Fury will watch it. Maybe Big John will watch it, eh? Hey, Big John watched a bit of an interview with him today. He was, just giving everybody stick as usual. These fucking podcasters. Fucking talking shite in podcasts. Hoping somebody's listening. Like, oh, I feel targeted. John Fury. Yeah, I like John Fury, He's obviously fucking doing something right. They've brought up fucking heavyweight world champion, you know what I mean? So you gotta respect John Fury, man. And I think deep down we all do. He's plays up for the cameras a wee bit sometimes maybe, and sometimes people who don't really know think, oh, that's really him. Nah, he's a smart guy. He's a smart guy to have accomplished what he has, So, fair play to John Fury. Nice one, guys. Look, be good. Have a lovely night and enjoy the fights and, all the rest of it. So, see you later.